Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another stream here on the channel. We have gotten the band back together. The last time the three of us talked, we were drafting a fantasy team for Laird back in beginning of September. A lot has changed since then. We just recorded a book club podcast with Pat Davis and the author of Radical Markets. That'll be coming out later on the Takecast, and I'll post the video here as well. But without further ado, Patrick, how have things been, my man?
They've been good. Yeah, just enjoying the off season. I'm back in California right now. Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing good. We're just in these content streets. We haven't, I see you're skiing, I see your girlfriend there drinking a Coors Light on the lift, and I'm just here eternally logged into my computer.
Yeah, I don't think I've logged off since our draft. I think we finished our draft in September, and I'm pretty certain I've not logged off since then.
So to announce how we did this past season, we came in third place.
Okay.
I think my record was like 7-6. Does that make, or I don't know.
Yeah, that adds up. Yeah. And how much did we win?
$0. $0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you find, I did expect you to kind of hit us up for more advice throughout the season. It seemed like you were kind of in set it and forget it mode with your team.
No, I was actually pretty active with it. I'd select, usually like 20 minutes before kickoff. I would just put my lineups in.
Well, yeah, you told us when we did that show in September, one of the things I asked you was when is the last time you could check your phone before kickoff? And you were like, we're in the locker room an hour before. Like, I could be on my phone. So I assume that's what you were using that time for.
Yeah, I'm always just realigning my fantasy roster. But no, honestly, what happened was I used your guys' suggestions at the beginning of the season, and I wasn't winning. I took over from there, and that's when I got a win streak going, and I made it, I made it into the playoffs, and then won one game in the playoffs, and then lost, and then I won again, so I came in third place.
You realize, though, that you held the goods out on us. You could have told us that Miles was going to be the guy, that Miles was the guy. I mean, dude, Miles was going not even drafted in these drafts. You could have been like, bro, I got this info. Miles Gaskin, my guy, my Pac-12 brother. He's gonna shoulder the load, and you held out on us.
Well, I think I told you guys that so I saw people's tweets about that after the fact. They're like, yeah, I went back and watched Laird's reaction to you guys saying like Miles isn't being touted or being drafted in these leagues, and when that happened, I in my head, I made that face and I was like, ooh, wait, I don't know if people are going to notice that. And then
they did.
We drafted freaking Jordan Howard, man, and he didn't even end the season as your teammate.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan's an awesome guy. Like I really think Jordan's a really good running back. I mean, besides, people have their opinions and all that, but I really think he's a good running back. But then I told you guys in a text, like when you guys brought it up to me about Miles, like, I had no idea either. I knew Miles was really good. And actually, shout out to Miles. It's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Miles. Fan of the show, I think.
He's a big fan. He talks about you guys all the time. So I didn't even know myself how much he was going to play. And then after the first game of the season, when he ended up, I think he had the majority of the snaps out of all the running backs, like a vast majority. We were on the plane back, and I just went up to him. I'm like, dude, did you have any idea you're going to play that much? And I guess he had some idea that he was going to be, a big part of the offensive game plan, but I don't know if he knew he was going to play that much. And I think he was kind of the hot hand that day against New England, and then he just kind of kept stringing a lot of good games together, and then he just started taking the most of the workload, which it was awesome to see.
Yeah, I had gotten comments from people about the Miles thing because, Davis, you said Patrick should have told us, but I got replies from people saying Patrick hinted that Miles was the guy, that people had picked up on that breadcrumb.
Yeah, people were intimating that you had some kind of reaction, but I mean, I guess it is one. If Miles himself didn't know, then I guess that we can't harbor too many resentments against you for holding out on us.
Yeah.
What? So
I'm surprised no one was because you guys made it seem like no one was considering him. I think that was my surprise.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense because he didn't start playing our rookie season. He didn't start playing, I think, until week 12.
Yeah.
And even when he was playing, I still started. And then I mean, we basically like were co-starters essentially, and then he got hurt at the end of the season. So like he didn't really have that many weeks to prove that he could be a starting NFL running back, I think, in most people's eyes. But then I have seen him behind the scenes. Like I know how hard he works. I've seen him in practice. Like I knew that he was going to play a lot for us this year. But obviously you guys saw how well he played, and he showed everyone that he's going to probably play running back in the NFL for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't really we messaged with you a little bit about it, but what was the overall experience of playing in this COVID year from just like a safety protocol thing, how it differed from your rookie year, what it was like to travel? I just, so much of that still kind of eluded us from the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things to talk about with how the season went. I'd say travel, it was kind of similar just because like we charter planes anyways. So, you usually just pull up, not to like, this is what happens. You just pull up to the plane, you go through like a little, TSA check, and then you're on, and you just go to your seat, and it's like, it was the same basically. You just had to wear a mask the whole time. I guess less people traveled with us. Sometimes there will be like executives and support people, more people travel. I guess we had less, so then the plane was more open, and so people spaced out. Going to hotels, usually we get like a whole floor, and then things would be shut off. But that was normal anyways, because like they don't want people harassing, my team, like when we travel. So
yeah, they don't want any of Fitzpatrick's 14 kids running around causing too much trouble.
No, they actually showed up to, well, not this year, but last year they would show up to a lot of games, and they're always super funny to see, because like they just see their dad going out and like these pads, and you just see him like run up and grab them. And I don't have, Fitz is the man. We should definitely have a little segment talking about him. But the thing that was tough, and I think I told you guys about this, like at the end of the season, everyone in the NFL went into intensive protocol, is what the NFL called it, where at the beginning of the season, they tried it out where when teams had what they considered an outbreak, it was like a certain number of guys triggered a team having to go into intensive protocol, which means that the team could only meet at the facility for practice. So everyone in the morning wakes up, goes to the facility, does their COVID test, goes home, goes on their computer, meets for a couple hours, drives back to the facility. You put on your pads and everything outside, or your workout gear outside. We have a bubble, so ours is all spread out in this bubble. But then you practice, and you take it all off. You throw it in these bins, and then you have to hop in your car, drive home, shower, eat, and then do Zoom meetings again. So that's what they tried at the beginning of the season, which is a select number of teams. I think like the Titans were probably the first team to go into that. And then at the end of the season, I think it was around Thanksgiving, they're like, all right, no, everyone's in intensive protocol. And so for, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 weeks or something like that. Like every team had to just literally Zoom in the morning, drive, practice, drive home, and then Zoom for the rest of the day.
How many times would you say you got tested throughout the course of the season?
I didn't miss a day from, I don't know, like July, whenever camp started, till December 3rd.
Wow.
So July 20.
Nasal swab or spit test?
Nasal swab.
Oh, man.
But no, it wasn't like the brain, like the brain scrape ones. You guys heard about it?
Yeah, I've gotten COVID tested 3 times with all the way to the back of my brain. It's not that fun.
No, that's the worst. I got that back in like April. When I got the stomach flu, and I thought it was COVID, so I went and got tested, but it wasn't. And then by the time we showed up in July, they had developed just the nasal one, kind of outer rim. They do like 10 seconds on each side, and then they sent it to the lab. So I did that every day from like late July to December 3rd, which is the last game we played.
One thing I remember we talked about you the first time we did the show, and the Dolphins hadn't had a great season, and there was kind of the whole conversation around, tanking, and you talked to us about, establishing the culture and how that can actually set you up, even if you get a worse draft pick, to, be quicker off to the races when you do get the assets. Then this year, you guys take this leap, almost make the playoffs. I'm curious, what was that kind of transition like, going from being a rebuilding team to a team that was legitimately competing and competitive against any other team this year?
Yeah. Sorry, I think I said December 3rd when I was talking about COVID testing. I got till January 3rd, our last game.
The fact checker's coming out already.
Yeah, I just realized I did that myself. But yeah, I mean, it was so much more fun. Obviously, like my rookie season, I was just like blown away. I was playing in games, you know, so I was having fun the whole year. But like this year, it was something different. Where in December, you're playing meaningful games, and winning at any point is fun. But like when you win like a game, like you guys remember the Raiders game when Fitz had the face mask pulled and then throws it down the sideline to Mac Hollins, and then we get the penalty on top of that. So now we're in field goal range, and Jason Sanders kicks the game-winning field goal. Like, if we lose that game, like the next 2 weeks, like don't mean as much because like we're kind of not in control of where, like the last couple of games we were in control of whether we made the playoffs or not, and so like it just meant so much more. And it was so fun to be a part of a team that had that, you know. And then obviously with our last game of the season, it was just we just had a terrible game as a team, just offense, defense, and special teams. We just had a bad game. So it was a complete bummer the way we ended the season. But I mean, we have a lot of guys coming back, and I think we're all remembering that. You know, that's gonna be something that's in our mind because obviously now the Bills are kind of like everyone thinks that they're. Or, I mean, they kind of –
the division's there for the taking, man. Old man Tom's gone.
Yeah, I mean, the division right now, like the Bills people believe that they're like going to be the front runner they are the front runner because they just won it this last year. So like we kind of have that in our minds going forward. And obviously I'm not here to make predictions on what's going to happen in the AFC East. But yeah, I just think that it was a sour way to end the season. But if like with the amount of guys we have coming back, a young team, like we just have that in the back of our minds going forward. And I'm kind of excited to see, the growth, as you said, like people thought we were tanking 2 years ago. This year we're in the playoff hunt. So it'll be exciting to see what happens going forward. And then, like you said, with the draft picks, like we have I think it's the third overall pick this year.
Four, right?
Third or fourth, something like that.
I'm going to assume Patrick knows, but who knows?
Hold on. I should know this, but I think maybe I just got it wrong. No, yeah, you guys have number 3. So lots of great players that can join the Miami Dolphins at 3. What was the experience being there during a quarterback controversy? Like, was that I've always kind of wondered the effect that like the switching of the guard at quarterback has on the team. Like, are you guys like sitting in the weight room, like gossiping about the quarterbacks when they're in the quarterback meeting room? Like, does it kind of take over and impact the whole team?
I don't think it did with ours, just because based on like the makeup of our team as a whole, and then just those 2 guys, you know what I mean? Like everyone knows Ryan Fitzpatrick's an amazing guy. Everyone knows Tua is a great guy, and they're both great teammates. So I could imagine like on a team, especially with like bigger egos, like I feel like our team isn't made up of guys with a bunch of big egos, but I could imagine like if there's a quarterback battle or controversy, like egos are going to go to one side of the room, and the other, and like kind of butt heads, I guess. And then like, especially if you like one of the quarterbacks as a guy and maybe the other quarterback's an asshole and like you don't like him, but he might be playing better. You know what I mean? Like there's different dynamics where
there's workplace interpersonal dynamics that play outside of like just who's better. Yeah.
Right. But for us, it's like everyone likes Tua, everyone likes Fitz. And just like a lot of time those decisions are made way above at least my pay grade. Like I can have
assistant to the quarterback.
I have input into that decision. And so it doesn't help for me to sit around in the locker room and like say, this is what I would do, or, it's kind of like you just have to trust the decisions that are made. And yeah.
Because it did seem, obviously I'm in the bag for the Dolphins, but it seemed like people were being unnecessarily harsh or knee jerk on Tua of not delivering up to being whatever they thought he would be immediately, like this top 5 NFL quarterback. What was that like to kind of witness his progress in person and see how he was handling kind of the weight of those expectations?
I can just speak for me personally. Like I know how hard it was just to be a rookie running back in the NFL. I cannot imagine how hard it would be to be a a rookie quarterback in the NFL. Like, it just seems so tough to grasp all that. There's so much more that comes with the position. Like, the mental part of it is so much harder. But I just, I'm not in all the quarterback meeting rooms, so I don't necessarily know like everything that goes on. But just from like my perspective, like, I think Tua has like a lot of poise. So, and he has a good head on his shoulders. So I'm not sure like all the people on the outside, all that outside noise bothers him. I mean, maybe it does, but he doesn't show it, which I think is probably a good, that's probably a good thing. But yeah, like I said, like, he's just a great dude. He wants to win. He's used to winning. So it's so hard to judge a rookie quarterback, I think, because like, and especially with like this year without, OTAs and all that development you get and learning the playbook early on, like, he just had to show up and already know the playbook essentially. So it's so hard to judge a guy in his first year. So like, that's, if anyone's listening, that's been hard on him. I guess that's what I tell people. It's like, if someone just watched my rookie season, I wouldn't want them to think that defined me as a football player. And I think our coaches know that, that every football player can always get better. And so, I'm excited to see him in year 2 and see what he does.
What was I remember back when we talked with you for your draft, it was right after the team had acquired Lynn Bowden, and I was sweating bullets at the cut deadline. I was worried if it, is Patrick on the outs here? People were messaging me, all this stuff.
We're messaging beat writers for the Dolphins trying to get answers.
What was that experience like this year? Did you feel like your job was on the line at any point? Do you feel kind of solidified in the position you have and in the role you have on the team? Or is it like always looking over your shoulder? What has that been like?
I think you have to do that. I think you have to always, I don't know, like necessarily looking over your shoulder, but like, you kind of always have to work and prepare as if, your job could be taken away like that, because it can. Like, I could get a text right now saying, "Hey, we're going to release you from the Dolphins." Like,
we saw that podcast and we're done.
Yeah. You didn't say good enough things about Tua, so you're gone. No, I think there's like a healthy amount of that, right? Like, you can't have, I've seen guys that have so much that the anxiety shows up on the practice field. I don't think I ever had that, but I always had like in the back of my mind, like, they can always have 3 running backs on the active roster. They don't need a 4th. They don't need a 5th. You know what I mean? So like, I just had to, going into camp this year, I just had to show that like, I could produce at running back. I can be reliable on special teams. And I'm gonna worry about how well I'm showing that to the coaches and how good of a teammate I can be. And then if they want to keep me, then they keep me. And that's what they decided to do this year. But again, like, going into year 3, like, I love being a part of the Dolphins, and like, I want to be a core part of the core group that I was talking about before. Like, I want to be a part of that group, but I gotta prove it again. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any guaranteed money in my contract. So like, if they cut me, they don't owe, nothing goes. I think there's like $3,000 worth of my signing bonuses against the dead cap, but like, that's nothing. So like, I have to continually prove it each year. And so this year though, like with the Lynn Bowden trade, like when we brought him in, he was a receiver from the beginning. I know people saw like towards the end of the season with Malcolm Perry playing more, he was playing more of the receiver, wildcat quarterback role. So yeah, like I don't know, like on the outside, like there's people that like, oh, they're bringing in other people and all that stuff. But for me, it's like, I kind of knew the role that I had, and I didn't let any of the transactions and all that stuff stress me out that much. But, I'm still human. So obviously sometimes it does. I'm being honest.
If you're being honest, like in your perfect world, are you getting 25 touches a game?
No, I don't think so, because like, I want to play a long time, and I'm like, if I could play, because like this year, I don't know how much I average, but like there'd be some games like I'd have like 3 or 5 plays on offense, or 7 or 12. You know what I mean? I go into like a lot of 2-minute situations, a lot of third down stuff. I did some 2-back stuff with Miles, which was really fun. And then I play on most of the special teams. Like, I feel like that amount of playing time, obviously, like you want to, because if you don't play that enough, then you don't have enough value to the team where they'll find someone else that'll come and bring more value. But then if you're one of those dudes that like, getting 25 touches a game, you're getting hit 35 times because, you know, you're doing pass protection, you're doing all that other stuff. Like, your body doesn't last that long. So you're, as a competitor, as a football player, like, you always want to do more and contribute more. But then I think if you want to have a long career, you got to be smart as well. So I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to, like, you know, play more, but
right. But what you are saying is you're okay with Miles getting chewed up in the meat grinder with those 20 carries a game.
Yeah, you want him taking those hits in between the tackles. Yeah.
Because you want the Tom Brady career. You want to be playing until you're 48.
Yeah, no. What's one of those, like, backup quarterbacks that, like, has played for
Chase Daniel?
You're right. And, like, what percentage of snaps have they played in their career? I mean, those guys have a really important role. I think people bash on, like, how much money backup quarterbacks make. Like, a lot of them have an important role on teams. But yeah, if I could get, like, that backup running back role for, like, 12 years, that'd be pretty cool.
There you go.
So Chase Daniel, he's been in the NFL since 2010. He's thrown 261 passes and started 5 games, and he's made, I mean, generational money. His grandkids will be living off of Chase Daniel's NFL backup quarterback money if he's invested in the right things.
Yeah, if he's invested in enough Bitcoin, I think they should be good.
Yeah, I mean, well, except the fact that you're actually not allowed to sell your Bitcoin because then you can't tweet about it if you've sold it. So, you know, I don't know how much of a hodler Chase Daniel is.
It's Russell Okun, all right? That is the guy that just tweets, the former football player that tweets about it nonstop, or is he still in the NFL?
He is not. He's in the NFL.
Okay.
There's one guy that got, like, a deal recently, and everyone was saying, like, he's being paid in Bitcoin, but really it's like just a percentage of his salary is being sent to this company that then converts it to Bitcoin and gives it to him.
Yeah, right. That's who we're talking about, Russell Okun. He plays for the Carolina Panthers.
Before the show gets off the rails when we start talking about crypto, and there's already like 19 Top Shot jokes in the chat, I am curious, do you have, like, any specific like fitness goals or things that you have on tap this off season, or is it just kind of general maintenance to stay at the level that you're at?
No, I definitely have a couple goals. One, I think, build more explosiveness, kind of get those first 5 to 10, 15-yard bursts just a little faster. I want a little bit more burst and a little bit more explosiveness in how I play. And I have a couple different ways I'm working on that. And then 2, just build top end speed in general. That can help, you know, if you break a run, but a lot of times that's going to help on, like, special teams, running down on kickoff, punt return, keeping, you know, staying in line with guys. So number 2, you have top end speed. And then 3, kind of what you were saying with, like, maintenance. For me, like, the first 2 things I said is pretty much all lower body. For me, like, upper body maintenance is really just, like, injury prevention. So, like, kind of building more muscle mass on the top of my body. So when I do, you know, carry the ball and absorb those hits, or when I am in pass protection, like, a lot of the time I'm going against guys that are bigger than me. So I gotta, you know, have some muscle mass to, like, brace myself. And so that's the thing I work on with my upper body, is really just, like, stuff that's going to help with injury prevention, and then a little bit of, like, pass protection strength. But yeah, it's really just, like, getting more explosive so that, like, you know, I can get the ball, I can make more plays.
Do you have to lose weight for that? Like, would you have to play at, like, 205 or something, like you know, lighter than that in order to do that?
Right now.
I mean, I could pull up what. Okay, this is a good one. Laden thinks, Laird, what do you think your combine weight was? Do you remember?
I didn't go to the combine, but, like, my pro day weight.
Sure. Yeah.
What do I think it was?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think your official weight was, like, listed by the NFL?
I think I know what it is.
Let's hear it.
Why wouldn't he know this?
205.
It is 205. I don't know. I don't know if he would look at that. I don't know if guys remember that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are listed at 205.
I mean, football players and their weight, that's, like, a very, like, we weigh in weekly because we can get fined if you go above a certain weight.
That actually ties into this question here, because I've seen them talk about that a little bit on this year's Hard Knocks. But Andrew asked, would Patrick be excited or not if NFL chose the Dolphins as the Hard Knocks team for this year? Because I know people have different opinions on that for as far as players.
Yeah. I wouldn't be like not excited. I wouldn't be like mad or anything. You know, my girlfriend likes watching Hard Knocks. So the issue with stuff like that for me, like I'm not that like exciting or theatric of a person. So like even if I was on Hard Knocks, like I'm sure there wouldn't be many clips of me that make the cut. Does that make sense? Like in a big group setting, I'm not the one jumping into a conversation and like taking over and saying a bunch of jokes and stuff.
Not a big extrovert.
Well, here's the thing.
So like I'm gonna be like the guy in the background that people will be like, who's this guy that's like, is he like the intern for camp? You know?
Intern. Yeah, you're the intern.
And like, I don't have a cool backstory that they're gonna do like a profile on. So
here
it'd be cool to see my teammates and stuff. I know because I'm sure some guys will get really into it. I have a few in mind, but
the wheels are turning for me. So if the Dolphins get the Hard Knocks, submission, I'm going to become your drama coach. We are going to craft kind of a character for you to play, a thinly veiled character here. I'm going to have a few things that I think might pop for the HBO cameras, some viral stuff, some pranks, and we will make you the star of Hard Knocks Miami Dolphins.
We just need him to become the crypto guy, the Dolphins crypto guy. That's locked in airtime. Like you trying to explain Ethereum to Miles, like that's just would be golden TV.
I don't think I want to be tied. I don't want to be tied. I want to be like, because like each season there's like, oh, that's like I don't know, like there's examples like that. That's the crypto or that's the dancing guy.
Yeah, 100%.
No. This is what you need. It has to be something really quirky. So this would be the thing. Like we would come up with this story where like you're really worried that everyone's gonna eat your lunch. And so you like hide your lunch like throughout the facility and you make like a little treasure map to find it. And you like dig little holes where you put your sandwich in and the cameras are like, what's Patrick Laird doing? They're like, oh man, he's just digging up his morning snack. I mean, that storyline alone, the dude who digs up his snacks from various portions of the playing field, that's what goes viral, Patrick.
See, the issue with that, there's already someone on my team that does even weirder stuff than what you just mentioned. And I already know like his profile will just get put ahead of mine. So like we have weird ideas.
Who is this? And what's the weird shit he's doing?
Dude, come on.
So he probably won't even care because he's like one of my best friends on the team. But Matt Collins, our receiver, just the goofiest guy. So I mean, like you the reason I can say this is because like he shows up to our games every Sunday with, like a different outfit. Have you guys seen this guy? Like 1 year or 1 week this year, he like had a robe on and then he like tore it off and he had like this anime tattoo on his stomach with like boxing gloves. I don't know.
I just Twitter searched Matt Collins' outfit and I have Dolphins fans complaining about Matt Collins' outfit on Twitter. That's all I can find.
So that's Max. So like there's like little things that he does that I'm sure the camera would pick up. Like I don't know. I can't even explain them all, but like, let's see.
He dressed up as Bob Ross for Halloween.
Okay, yeah. Okay, see this right here with the bike.
Oh yeah, the bike. This is E.T. here.
Yeah, I don't even think that was Halloween. That's what I mean. Like he's showing up, just not even. It's not even Halloween.
Yeah, I don't think anything Pete could come up with is a better bit than that. So I do think Mac is. Yeah.
Do not not try to challenge me. I will come up with a bit for Laird.
He doesn't want a car. He'll ride his. He'll like walk to work.
That's good. All right. Well, we'll work on this. I mean, we're not going to let Hard Knocks Miami come and go without making you a star. Okay. I mean, we're not going to let that happen.
I appreciate that.
We got to get Laird to the people. I agree.
I'm scrolling through the comment. I've been missing the comments. I haven't been looking.
Oh, my guy Clay, part of the Deposit Kingdom Discord here. If you guys want to join that, link is in the show notes below. Mac was my neighbor in college. He has a pet snake too that freaks me the fuck out. Did you know about the pet snake?
Yeah, I do. He has 2 pet snakes. Yeah. I haven't held them, but like a lot of guys on my team will hold them.
That's crazy.
I guess snakes, they only need to eat like once every 2 weeks. And
so he can just go on the road. So you can just go. You guys can go play in New England. He can just leave the snake and it's fine.
Well, he has like mice. He like has frozen mice that he buys. Spends like thousands of dollars on mice to feed his snakes.
I love this title that when he got drafted by Philadelphia, Philly Mag, the Eagles drafted a snake guy.
Hey, Mac was a walk-on in college as well.
There you go.
Got a little walk-on connection.
Walk-ons got to stay together, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember you had posted on Instagram earlier in the season, or maybe it was during training camp, you were playing that, you were doing a chipping contest in the practice facility with Jason Sanders and that. Did you guys keep that going, your little golf exploits?
No, we never got it going. Like the dining hall and everything was like shut down pretty much. You couldn't really congregate, during training camp. So when we have like a couple hours between meetings and practice and stuff, some of us would go into our bubble where you can kind of space out. And I brought a couple of my wedges and we just hit balls on our turf. And
how's your golf game? You probably haven't played in months.
I actually played 2 days ago.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Literally outside of my house right now, it's Hoth, bro. It is -5 degrees. There's 10 inches of snow. It's terrible.
Here, I can maybe turn this around. I can see the ocean right here.
Oh, God. Here comes.
No.
Oh, look at this guy.
Oh, this guy. All right. Lifestyles of the rich and famous over here. I don't need it.
You know what? The view's slightly obstructed. I feel better about myself. What have you been up to? So did you fly back home and you've been in California, or in not where you grew up though, right? You're down in Manhattan Beach?
Yeah, Manhattan Beach area. So yeah, I'm living with my girlfriend's family right now. And we're actually gonna go back up to San Luis Obispo, and I'm gonna train up there. But I've been training down here. Our the agency I'm with, they have a training facility. So it's kind of closed off from the public, and you can get in there safely and work out. So I've been training the last couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, really just hanging with my dog Teddy, going golfing a little bit, hanging at the beach, but kind of getting my body back. And
Pat, I've noticed she's been your girlfriend for a while, but just girlfriend now for I think the entire time that we've known each other. Are you starting to feel some of the heat there for changing the title there?
Kind of putting me on the spot on live.
He's also at his future in-laws' house there too, Davis. So he's got
they're actually not here right now, so we're in the clear. No,
you're under no pressure to answer that. I'm just giving you a hard time.
She'll never see this. She never watches any of it. I mean,
it's 33 minutes in too, so if she did watch, she's not here now.
No, she's awesome, and she's in law school right now. So I think before we do any like the next steps in our relationship, we're probably gonna wait till she's done with school and then go from there. But yeah, she came out for the season and did law school out in Florida, but her law school was based in San Francisco. But obviously, it was all virtual.
It was all remote.
Yeah, and then now it's all remote again because California has just had a lot of COVID cases, so she can kind of bounce around with her laptop and her books, and so yeah, it was fun having her out in Florida.
Where were you skiing? I saw you guys were skiing the other day.
It's called Snow Valley. It's like probably 2.5 hours from LA.
Okay.
Snow Valley.
How's the powder, man? You shredding that gnar or what?
It wasn't much powder because it hadn't snowed like in the last couple of days before. It had rained a little bit actually, and then it was actually because this was Memorial Weekend, right? Today's Memorial Day.
What? It's President's Day.
President's Day, bro.
Memorial Day is like 4 months away.
I'm thinking we're planning. My family's planning family vacation in May, and we're doing it Memorial.
Gotcha.
Today's President's Day, which I should know. So it's President's Weekend, and so it was super crowded. And then there was high winds, so on the backside of the mountain, they shut down all the chairlifts. So the lift line was like 20 minutes. And so yeah, like we only got a couple runs in before we headed home.
Back in high school, when I was in Colorado, our basketball coach, I don't even know if he was allowed to do this, but he said we couldn't snowboard or ski because he was too worried about us getting injured.
Yeah.
So I spent my salad days in Colorado not being able to take advantage of one of the best perks of living in Colorado. Little did I know.
But you were paid off with your basketball career in the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it all worked out. I went on to play AAU, and I now am actually a professional NBA basketball player. But other than that, it wasn't that fun at the time.
Can they even enforce that?
Apparently, I was scared enough to not go snowboarding because of.
I mean, that stuff is written into lots of dudes' contracts, right? Like, I remember the first time I read about that was like I read a Cal Ripken autobiography, and what he wasn't allowed to go snowboarding or like ride motorbikes or anything.
Yeah, I think one thing in our contract, we can't ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
To work. I don't know though. I don't know how much is that's enforced.
I do. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. I mean, if you're hitting the half pipe, you know. Oh, wait, is this video of you?
You're not gonna be able to see it.
Hang on, no, I'm going big screen to you. Let's see it.
Okay, one sec. I'm the lame guy.
This is gonna be so majestic.
Is this you? Is this like a 360 here?
Let's see.
Oh, look at this dude. Oh, my lift. Look at that. The tail grab. Oh, my dude. That was gnarly. I can't believe you're better at snowboarding than me, too. This sucks.
Do you skateboard, Laird? Do you shred the gnar?
I used to be obsessed with skateboarding. I used to do it like every day.
You know, that was like my first fantasy football. That was what I was a huge skateboarder when I was in middle school and high school. That was my thing. Oh, my mixtape. Yeah.
Good.
That one's lived forever. Yeah. Snowboarding is much harder though to me. I went.
No. Skateboarding is way harder than snowboarding.
Skateboarding is. I mean, I'm decent at snowboarding and I am awful at skateboarding.
I felt like it was. It just was not a comfortable experience for me because I was so used to being able to bail whenever you wanted. And the feeling of being strapped in, I wasn't big on it.
Yeah. If you know how to fall in snowboarding, though, you almost I've had some pretty bad falls, but you're not going to get if you know how to fall, you're not going to get hurt. Which I think I learned from skateboarding because skateboarding you have to really know how to fall. But sometimes just falling on cement, you're just I broke my wrist twice growing up skateboarding.
Can we get a logo of you going off the kicker, the silhouette, and then the Laird Jordan, underneath it? I mean, that would be dope.
Yeah. We got any more questions? People are just mean in here.
You know, there's a lot of.
Is Davis 3 feet tall with his webcam in another room?
I was doing TV before we got on, and they don't like the perpendicular lines that get set up. So I was way down in my camera. Not a great look.
Are you in your office? What with the stuff in the background? Is that McElroy in the background?
Yeah, it's not. This isn't real though. This is the company I work for sent me this customized background with a bunch of shit that I wanted on it. It looks. Sometimes people think it's real, but none of this stuff is real. It's all an illusion. It's a cloth screen printed like piece of fabric.
It's a physical representation of digital collectibles that Davis owns across the metaverse.
All right, so is this the part where we tell Laird about Top Shots?
So, I mean, I would just say, Patrick, there's a lot of people in this chat that probably have never even seen our first interview because they've come in since Top Shots. And I guess first off, and I can't even. I don't want this whole thing to be Top Shot, Davis, but are you familiar with Top Shots, Patrick?
No.
Okay. That's what I figured. Davis, I don't even know where do we start with this.
Where you can get a chunk of a trading card. Is that what it is?
Kind of, but not so much. Okay, and Laird just left. He's trying
to come in the room. One sec.
I will also say, I'll use this chance to say, so before we did this, we just did the book club, Radical Markets, and that podcast audio is going to come out on the Takecast, and we'll have the video out of it here. And we were talking a little bit about crypto there. And at one point, when the author Glenn mentioned he's still a crypto skeptic, Patrick started fist pumping. So
literally fist pumping, dude. Pat wants my bags to go to zero. Literally fist pumping my bags going to zero.
Yeah. So if he's skeptical on crypto, wait till we start talking about non-fungible tokens. Patrick, we're going to blow your mind.
And I'm skeptical of crypto almost as a joke now, just to root against Davis. And I want to get to the decentralized point. We didn't really get to talk about it on the podcast. I want to talk about that for a second. But go ahead and explain what the Top Shots thing.
Go for it.
Basically, Top Shots are digital sports cards that exist on the blockchain, and Peter and I are all in. We are all in. Pete has started a podcast called Club Top Shot, where what do you guys do it like 2 times a week, Pete?
Basically, whenever people are just kicking down our door telling us to do another episode, these people are savages, Pat. They want Top Shot content around the clock.
So basically, it's NBA sports cards, but they're videos. They exist on the blockchain. You can purchase them, sell them for American dollars. There you go. Pete is showing you a Luka Doncic Top Shot right now on screen.
So the other thing about this, Patrick, is this company, they have an official license with the NBA. So they get this footage and then they cut them up into these moments, and it's generally just a single play. And then it's using blockchain technology. You'll see here, like the serial, there were 14,000 of 1,400 of these minted, and I have serial edition 518. So instead of in the card market where, it'll just say 2,000 total, all of them, it doesn't matter if I have which one. The serial number has actually been reflected in the market of having value based on how high, how low it is, if it has a jersey match. So there's this whole world now of how these things are being valued.
So I like to collect things, and I always did when I was younger. Like I used to collect trading cards.
Should we open a box of cards while we're on the show, Pat?
An unboxing video.
I just got this box like 10 minutes before we started the show with Glenn, and I was like, I'm gonna save it and see if we want to open some cards on the show.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. But to my point, like, I'm not against collecting. Like, now I like to collect books, and I feel like that's a good lifelong collecting. That's why I got the hardcover instead of you guys.
Yeah.
I did get the paperback because I like the hardcovers, so I think they're gonna last longer.
Yeah.
So I'm not against collecting, but for whatever reason, I just think collecting something like a video online, there's less to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't want to turn this into a whole thing of that. The thing is I have zero interest in physical cards, like, because that is just, other than my couple Patrick Laird cards that people have sent me, I hadn't collected any cardboard because I didn't do anything with them. And I was like, I don't do anything with these either. So that wasn't a barrier of entry for me.
Yeah.
And it's actually more realistic to show off things online than it is like to constantly show off a card. It's harder to do. And maybe that's a product too of us all just being extremely online right now. Although I don't envision when the pandemic's over, people are going to be carrying their Justin Herbert Panini PSA graded cards in their back pocket to show friends. Although maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people are going to do that, Davis.
It's something. It's like a collection you have at your house. Like with people with like interest, they'll come over and you show them. Oh, look at this collection I have. Oh, here's my wall where I have my best cards. And
yeah, we got some good refracting cards. I mean, Pete is out on the cardboard world. He's not into it.
They attacked me.
They did. They came after you really hard.
Patrick, listen to this story. Davis sent me a LaVisca Chenault card, a man that you have once referred to as a grown-ass man. And I was very excited. I was like, you know what? The only cards I own are Patrick Laird cards, and I'll add a LaVisca. So I order it, and I get it, and I'm excited, and I post it on Twitter. And these people come at me. It wasn't graded from the right site. It's not the right edition. I'm wasting my money. I should quit the hobby. And so I'm done. They shamed me out of cardboard. These people are snobs, Patrick.
Well, that's kind of bad. That's bad business on their part, because the more people you have the more demand in the card market, the higher the value of your cards are going to go. So they just forced out someone that was probably going to drive up maybe one of their cards.
Exactly. I'm an influencer and they shooed me away. It's like when you play at the poker table and you berate someone for making a bad move, you want him making a bad move. That's good for your bottom line. So yes, I'm out on cardboard. And
unless someone makes a bad move and they end up winning, that's annoying at the poker table.
Yeah, but you don't yell at them though. You don't yell at them. You tell them nice hand and you move on and you just mentally catalog it.
Did you guys I think we asked you this the first time, but I'm curious this year with Corona, do you guys have any more good gambling team stories? You know, guys playing blackjack while traveling, anything like that?
You're not like allowed, like they kind of enforced it on the plane. You weren't allowed to like congregate that much. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, but wait, what did I tell a story about the dude winning like 15 grand that was on practice squad?
Hang on, Davis, your cards are like crinkling in the audio. All right.
Did I tell that story last time of the guy that won 15 grand that was on practice squad?
I don't think so. I don't remember.
No.
I don't even know that. So they wasn't on my team, but I met him this past offseason, and I didn't get his permission to share like his name or anything. But it's a game where like you can you look at your cards and then you can choose to play in. Does that make sense? And like he knew he drew a really good hand at this point because like when the pot. So if you put like it's like let's say it's $20 to buy in, and you put your money in, you lose that hand. You need to match the amount that everyone else put in plus the pot. And so at some point it got up to like someone lost at like 7,500. So now they had to put 7,500 in themselves. So now the pot was worth 15 grand. So he had like a hand that he knew was so good that like he was either going to tie with someone else, but when you tie, like it pushes.
Yeah.
Or he was going to win. And so he puts like his money in because he was trying to like, he's like, I can't, I'm just going to keep folding and folding because I'm not going to be able to pay 15 grand. So he eventually gets his hand. So he goes, I'm going to go in. And then he wins. And like people wrote him checks. And like, he was like this kid on practice squad. Like, and that 15 grand he made on the plane was definitely more than his weekly check that he got. And so I thought that was pretty crazy. But nothing from this season that I have off the top of my head. If I think of something, I'll let you guys know.
Well, you mentioned that you're not in the crypto streets. Obviously, like everything in the market is pumping right now. Have you been doing any retail investing yourself? Were you part of this GameStop?
Yeah, does Laird have a Robinhood account?
Yeah,
I opened one like in college, but I haven't used it in years. We talked about this in like the very first podcast. Like my investing philosophy is kind of like ETFs, buy and hold for 30 years. And so I'm not gonna lie, I did have a little FOMO with the GameStop stuff. I have one friend that got $100,000 in a day off of GameStop options. Or were you guys participating in that run?
I did AMC. I bought AMC options and then just some of the regular ones, but I lost like $300. Like I just, cause I was just going to ride it. And it never rode up for a couple different reasons. Like the institutional setup was a little bit different there.
I famously accidentally posted one of Davis's DMs. I was doing a stream and Davis was telling me we were all buying AMC stock the next day, and that DM showed up on the screen. I didn't do any retail investing though. Yeah,
I had a little FOMO, but for me, it's just like I'm too risk averse. And
do you know what Bitcoin is at right now? Do you have a sense of how expensive it is?
Like 43,000. I look it up every once in a while.
47,000 this morning. Last I looked.
48,300 right now.
There you go.
It'd be interesting.
That doesn't give you any FOMO?
A little bit, honestly. Like when we talked like a year ago, what was it at?
Probably
we were at
8,000. Probably the first time.
Between 8,000 and 10,000 for a long time.
So I could have retired if I just put my money into Bitcoin and then sold.
You could have had Russell Okung money, man.
Yeah, I still need to research more, and you never sent me any like articles to look at, so I just.
Look at this! He's blaming us.
I haven't sent you any articles. What article could I possibly send you that would get you to change your mind? You're a no coiner, and that's it's fine.
This might be surprising, but I'm actually open for my mind to be changed, but I haven't had like the effort to like look into it that much.
What are your biggest reservations?
I just don't understand it as an asset class. Like I know you mentioned, so for the people that they're going to hear later, I guess.
Yeah.
You said Bitcoin is more of like an asset for investments, and like Ethereum. What is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ethereum.
Ethereum is going to be the one that people use for like crypto, like actual currency to buy and sell things. So I don't understand.
Yeah. So Ethereum makes a little bit more sense as something to actually use as money for a couple different reasons. The first, the transactions are way faster. If you've ever tried to send a transaction on Bitcoin, it's kind of slow. It takes 6 confirmations to get through. So the idea with Bitcoin now is less that you want to spend it to buy your lunch or whatever, but more that because there's only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoins that exist, no more, no less, that as long as people are continuing to value it, it's hard for it to decrease in value as there are, more US dollars being printed. There were 22% of all of the US dollars that were ever printed in human history were printed this year alone, or in 2020 alone. And so Bitcoin's big asset is its scarcity. Ethereum's big asset is its scalability and the speed of the transactions. Now, there's like way more nerdy stuff to go into of like, it's really expensive to send Ethereum right now because the gas fees are really high because the network is being taxed because more people than ever are using the Ethereum network. But basically, the way I would explain it is Ethereum is used to build things and Bitcoin is already built. Like Bitcoin already exists to be what it's supposed to be.
In the kind of the shift that has happened, the original Bitcoin white paper, it called it like a peer-to-peer digital currency. And that vision, at least for the short and midterm, has kind of died. But even a lot of skeptics have come around on it as a store of value, as basically gold, digital gold for this generation. And that's truly kind of how it's operating. People weren't wanting to transact with it because everyone was speculating on it as a store of value. So all these, Mark Cuban, I just heard tell a story the other day, they were offering people to buy Mavs tickets with crypto because he had heard, hey, this is all the rage. People want to get their hands on it. No one was using. He said he sold like $300 in tickets because everyone wanted to hold their Bitcoin. So I think that what's interesting about it is how maybe the true vision of it has shifted a little bit. But now as a store of value, you see with the Elon Musk and the Tesla kind of position and more of these institutional investors wanting to get it on their ledger sheet, that they do view it as a very good hedge against a lot of the inflation and stuff that's going on with the US dollar.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I get the store of value thing, I guess. So I get the decentralized thing is something people bring up. When I was taking economic classes, one of the advantages of just in macroeconomics, one of the advantages of having a centralized currency like the U.S. Treasury bill and the U.S. dollar, like it's backed by a pretty powerful government body that can, validate or not validate, but like gives it its value. You know what I mean? And so with the Treasury or the U.S. Treasury, the Federal Reserve, kind of their goal is to just have inflation be stable at around 2% every year. I know we're printing a ton of money, but I don't know. There's just like the centralized planning in my mind isn't necessarily, it's not a bad thing. Like you just having continuity, like with Bitcoin, it's hard to make a long-term investment with it, not knowing whether its value is going to double in next year or fall by 50%. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm not really explaining how I'm thinking about it very well, but that's one of the ideas. Like just because it's decentralized in my mind doesn't necessarily make it a good thing.
Davis, do you have something to say? Are you still ripping your pack open here?
I am still ripping. I'm waiting to get something good. We got nothing good so far. So the answer to why the fact that there is no one monitoring, the fact that there is no one saying it's worth this much, that we should print this much, that is that's a feature, not a bug, to a lot of the people who are investing in Bitcoin, because basically it is a source of money and a source of value that no one person or no one group of people can mess with, that no group of people can say, okay, we're going to do this with it. We're going to print this much. We're going to deflate the economy this much. Like a lot of the Bitcoin true believers are saying the whole point is that no one can mess with it because the decision points are stretched out all across the globe.
Right. And I guess my point is like, I don't know if that's necessarily like a good thing. I don't know if that.
Well, I don't know if it would be a good thing for dollars that you want to transact in, but it's really good for something that you want to hold value over lots of years, because the problem in investing in anything is like, well, what if the people in charge, flood it? What if what if this, what if that, what if other groups of people have incentives that don't line up with yours, and everyone who owns Bitcoin basically has the same incentive, which is that we should just keep the protocol layer working as it exists.
Yeah.
I do think, I think that's the thing of kind of orienting how you think about it. I mean, I think Davis and I have strong beliefs in thinking it's a very good long-term investment, but still as thinking about it as a hedge and as just a small position. And in a lot of ways, the small position works because if something very bad happens to the US economy or the dollar, that small position could end up becoming a very large portion of your net worth in the worst case scenario. So almost even thinking of it not as just like, oh, I'm going to get rich off of Bitcoin, but protecting yourself from some of the outlier outcomes that could happen with inflation and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas the value in Ethereum is a little bit different because that is money that people use, like that is or not even money, but that is a protocol layer that people use to accomplish things on like a daily basis.
I gotcha.
Jeff Jones has been swinging by a lot of my streams and seems to just spit out gold on the regular. So thank you for hanging out with us, Jeff. You did miss Laird. He has one honey right now that we know of. Laird doesn't strike me as someone that would break his bond like that.
Yeah, I saw Jeff's comment. I was gonna say what's up to Jeff and say he definitely doesn't know me on a personal level. That's not true.
Did for the NFL athletes that maybe sample the groupie scene more? I mean, this must have been a rough year for them.
Yeah. It was definitely dangerous out there. You can sliding into the DMs of people was definitely a dangerous thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how dudes end up on the COVID list.
I imagine some of them. I can't expose any names and can't say I know anyone personally, but yeah, I'm sure there's some guys in the NFL out there that got a COVID and they said it was for a different reason than what it really was.
What was the James Harden thing? It came out, he was at a strip club while they were playing in the NBA finals? What was it?
He was at DaBaby's birthday party. brought him up. No, right before the season started.
Oh, right before the season started.
Oh, I knew something that we wanted to talk to you about, Patrick. So the main face of Top Shot, the NBA sponsor that they acquired to be the spokesman,
yeah, this is big,
is Tyler Hero, a fellow Miami professional athlete. Are you familiar with Tyler Hero?
I know who he is, but I don't know him.
Okay.
Yeah. He seems like he's getting like a ton of he has the cereal.
Get your box out, Pete.
Is that a collectible?
Oh yeah. Big time collectible here. We got our Tyler Hero Fruit Hoops boxes. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he's everywhere. Like he's really like blown up. He's gonna be like the next like NBA I don't know what you call him, like commercial superstar.
Yeah.
State Farm commercials.
Yeah, we want to get him on the show. But obviously he's gonna be a tough ask. He's not responded to any of our tweets.
If I know of anyone that knows him, I will try to make the connection.
The thing we've realized is that we only gravitate toward professional athletes who live in Florida or play in Florida. LaVisca became a guy, Tyler Hero. Although I've also gotten really into another man in the Top Shot streets, Fred VanVleet, who, like you, an undrafted free agent who has now gone on to have great success in the NBA. So people have been wondering.
That's rare in the NBA.
I know.
Very rare.
That's awesome.
And his whole thing is bet on yourself. I mean, don't look at his crotch, but it does say bet on yourself right there. People have asked me if you're jealous of me liking Fred VanVleet, as if like, do I have to be monogamous on my favorite athletes across different sports?
I don't think so. I think just the more I think it's okay. Everyone's like, you gotta only be a fan of one team and one person. I think it's cool to be fans of everyone. You know.
I mean, I've broken the rule many times. So yeah.
Do you watch any NBA? Do you enjoy basketball?
So I used to growing up. It was like I loved it. But no, honestly, I don't. I don't even watch. I hardly watch until the playoffs.
Yeah,
which is bad. But I don't know. I haven't. I kind of lost interest a little bit.
What was your Super Bowl watching experience? Were you as mystified as the rest of us on how hard the Chiefs got beaten up?
So you know how people go, "Oh, who you got in the game? Who's going to win?"
Yeah.
Saying if I was a betting man, I'd say the Chiefs, but it's hard to bet against Tom Brady with 2 weeks of preparation.
Classic Laird hedging it, just hedging to left, right, and center. Laird's got his hedges out.
Well, essentially, everyone I talked to afterwards, I was like, "See, I told you guys." Tom Brady with 2 weeks of preparation. It's hard to bet against that.
What about Andy Reid off the bye? Andy Reid off the bye. He's undefeated.
Someone said that to me too. So I don't know. I mean, Tom Brady's been there like what? Yeah, that was his 10th time. So it's hard to bet against that.
Did you see the clip of Tom Brady from the Super Bowl celebration party there? How drunk he got?
That was awesome. That was hilarious.
Would you? If you won the Super Bowl and had the Dolphins party, do you think you'd get that hammered?
I'd probably wait till later, like when the cameras were gone. But
Laird has too much of a brand to worry about, dude. He's ready to be a quadratically voted senator in 20 years. He can't have videos of him drunk on a boat out like hanging out around there.
But there's something about just like a post Super Bowl win, like you're just gonna get like a break for like a week. Like they're gonna let you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like it's not like illegal or hurting someone, but you can pretty much do anything, and it could be very embarrassing. But like people will give you a pass.
Gronk kind of paved the way for all of you fellow athletes that you can now do whatever you want at a party, and it's
Gronk
fine.
didn't win or lose. You guys remember him when they lost the Super Bowl and he went out with his brothers?
Yeah.
I think only Gronk can really get away with that, just because he doesn't mean he seems like a guy that means well. Like
yeah.
all the time, so.
Did you talk to LaVisca when you guys played the Jags?
No, I didn't see it. It's like like when people like shake hands after the game, and it's just like
we needed the jersey swap between Laird and Chenault, and you guys referencing this podcast. Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been peak.
I thought if I made a couple more plays in the game, I could have had more clout and gone up and talked to him, but I didn't really do much that game, so it was hard for me to do that, and I don't think I really bumped into him.
That's all right. Those days are coming. Those days are coming. Here's a good question from KB3. When Laird does decide to partake of the devil's juice, what is he drinking?
Ooh, I don't discriminate that much. I like it all, but drink of choice. I like light, like a Coors Light beer,
Okay, you're like me.
It's ready for you to be a Michelob Ultra guy.
I don't dislike Michelob, but I think Coors Light's probably like my go-to light beer. And then if for hard alcohol, I like sipping on whiskey. I think that's
okay, classy.
Something I like to do.
I can picture you in a 3-piece suit at a nice gala, sipping on a glass of whiskey on the rocks.
Yeah.
There you go.
The idea of Laird being a whiskey guy who in his Twitter profile has whiskey is proof that God loves us or something like that. Like that idea is very funny to me. Just being a big online whiskey guy.
You saying me? I would be like that?
No, it's just that idea. I don't think you are, but just the idea of you being that is very funny to me. I think we got one good card. We got a Mike Clevenger hollow silver one here. I think these baseball packs don't have that much that's that good in them, though, to be honest.
So when you told me you wanted to rip open a pack on this stream, I assumed at least would be football, maybe basketball. You're ripping open baseball cards. We have Patrick Laird here, Davis, and you're going through these dusty baseball cards. It can't wait 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's not having the conversation either.
Wow, getting roasted. Well, I thought I'd be able to pull us something good, and we could crowdsource it, but it does not look meant to be.
I have a 1963 Willie Mays card.
Ooh,
yeah. Do you know who's a card guy is? Vince Beagle on my team plays
really?
Backer D end.
Big card guy.
He's all into crypto. You guys should have him on. He'd be an interesting guy to talk to. But he's
tell him to slide it. Tell him, give us his email, dude. We will contact him.
Okay, he's really into business. He'll in the offseason he'll go to antique shops and look to flip things, and like he's got into like the card game. He'll buy like, what did he buy? I don't even know if I'm allowed to mention, but I think he got some Justin Herbert cards, like rookie cards.
Yeah, those are all the rage.
He's like saving them, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna like sell these over the next like couple years." like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, he's doing it to like make money. You know,
Pat doesn't understand. Pat's like, dude, just lift some weights and get a bigger contract, bro.
I think he just does it for fun, but like I think that's like part of the fun for him is like seeing if he can like make a little money on the side.
Yeah. Do you have any other little side hustles, things like your entrepreneurial spirit? I mean, you do a lot of community focused things, but are you hustling out here trying in some of these markets?
I've been thinking about it, but no, yeah, like I think the majority of my time right now is like doing like some of the community stuff with the Dolphins Social Impact Committee. And right now, what's taking up a lot of time is I shouldn't say a lot of time. It's really not that much time, but what we're doing is we're collaborating with the Players Coalition. So it was started by Anquan Bolden a couple years ago, and basically what I'm helping with is like we're creating a program where like each team has a representative on the Players Coalition, so that we can kind of all collaborate. Because right now it's like all these NFL teams and players are doing their own thing individually. And what we found with the Dolphins Social Impact Committee is like when 12 of us come together, we can accomplish a lot more. So the idea is like, how can we create like an organization, kind of like a loose organization through the Players Coalition of all 32 teams having one representative. And so like if every team in the NFL wanted to come together and do something, it could get done with the organization of the Players Coalition and this new program we're creating. So that's the main idea. I'm kind of developing that. And right now we're just getting like nominees for the program.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So you would be like the head of the Dolphins, and then like you would so you'd be the lead guy for the Dolphins Players Coalition, and then they would send you off to the group meeting with the other 31 guys.
Exactly. So and it could be like for our team, it's going to be Byron Jones and I. We're going to be the two. We're calling them locker room leaders, who are representatives for the Players Coalition. And so like probably do it like 4 times a year. So like or maybe like once in the off season, once during the season, where we just kind of get on like a Zoom call, and if guys have ideas or something, hey, let's get maybe the 3 Florida teams can come together and help pass.
So are you going to use quadratic voting to decide on what you guys are going to do?
Maybe. That's actually probably not, because I did.
Imagine Laird trying to explain to Byron Jones, like, okay, listen, Byron, this is what we're gonna do. I read this book with my guys that I do a podcast with. We're gonna use this. We're gonna use quadratic voting to decide what we're bringing to the committee.
Byron would probably be on board. He's a really smart guy, and I think he'd be into something like that. But yeah, no, I think it's like organizationally that'd be really hard to get everyone to do.
When you're in the season, do you find just like all of your, I don't know, like mental energy just devoted to football? Like when you come back, you just want to zone out and chill? Or do you find your wheels turning, you're thinking about other things that are interesting you, reading other books? Like, I'm just curious if you have that laser focus or if you're kind of always, thinking about other things.
I think more the zone out and chill. Like when you get home, are you talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, like sometimes I do think about like, oh, in the off season, I want to do this, this, and this, and this, and this. But like, I don't start any of that really until after the season, just because from like 6 a.m. to like usually like 6 at night and sometimes later, I'm like kind of focused on football. And so like you just have like and you just want to come home and watch The Office. Right, which I do, except for now it's on Peacock, which I haven't downloaded yet. But
I mean, $14.99 a month would really overextend you. That's not a part of the Laird 20-year plan.
I'm still like getting passcodes for all my streaming services right now. I've been able to swing that so far, so maybe I'll take the bill on Peacock and then share it with my family. But this off season, like I've been thinking about different things, like maybe doing like speaking engagements and then possibly charging a fee. Or maybe doing like a mentorship program, if a parent wanted to sponsor their kid, and then, I talk to a kid on a monthly basis and kind of stay in contact. And then, It's hard to price those things. You know what I mean? Like, so I would never charge a school. So like for my speaking stuff, I would go to any school for free and talk. And I would, I like to do Zoom stuff with classrooms right now. But I don't know, like if there's like a company or something, or like maybe like a high school wanted me to come and speak to the whole school, something like that. I don't know if there's any demand for it, but I've been thinking about setting something up like that. And I was also thinking about podcasting. I don't know if because I got all these requests. I told you guys about how many requests for podcasts I get.
Yeah.
Like a landing page, and I said, okay, hey, put in a date and a requested like a budget you have.
Download
on that.
There's a program that'll let you do that. It's very easy to use. Calendly.
Oh yeah, Calendly.
Yeah, you could just put in the times that you're available, and you could let people know your rates and everything. Yeah,
I'm a little worried now that we got the wheels turning that Laird's going to start charging us to bring him on here.
No, I don't think
pumping. We can afford it. Crypto's pumping, dude. We can afford it.
We'll pay you in Bitcoin.
Do you want in on a reading bet with Peter and I, Patrick?
What is it? How much we can read in a year?
No, we have Peter and I have a bet where we have to meditate 10 minutes a day and read 30 minutes a day every day between we started December 1st and it's going until April 1st. We both have missed one day so far. I didn't meditate on Christmas, and then I think Pete got drunk the day after Christmas and decided not to read. But yeah, and then the winner at the end is just the person who missed the fewest days, but we're both on one missed day right now.
What are the stakes? 500
bones.
Wow.
No. It's legitimately, I've really appreciated it because we started it in season when Davis and I are even more busy than we are now. And it set up this really good habit that I now don't break at all. And now I'm rolling it over into the off season. And it's just the right amount of money where I don't want to pay Davis.
Yeah, don't want to lose it.
You don't want to lose it. And it's been very rewarding. I'm back to reading a ton. And then I find myself reading more. We have our 30-minute bet, but you get, engrossed in a book and you keep going and stuff. So it's been a good thing overall. Habit stacking.
Yeah, right. I like the idea. Is this through that one website where you like to keep you accountable? Have you guys heard of that website? It's like you like put a deposit down, and then if you don't accomplish the goal, then the money is donated to a charity.
I haven't heard about that.
No, but I have not heard of that, but that does sound right up my alley.
Yeah, I thought I saw you tweeting about that, like where to hold yourself accountable to stuff, you like put money on the line, and that's like the one.
That is true. I'm in like 5 different prop bets right now, all related to self-improvement, but none of them are being tracked on this website. I could have cut out the middleman. I could have just booked these bets with myself, I guess.
Yeah. I can't jump into it now, because I feel like you guys are halfway in, and I don't want to disrupt the bet. But I think I could be interested in doing something like that going forward.
Do you ever meditate? Have you ever?
So that's the reason I'm kind of a little hesitant to commit, because I've done meditation. I've done 2 different apps. I've tried. We actually get Headspace free through the NFL, which is nice.
Nice.
I'm rich.
Yeah, I have to pay $69 a year, and this guy gets it for free. He's got an obstructed view of the ocean, gets free Headspace. I mean, what a life.
It's actually really not fair. Like I joke about this with my girlfriend. Like, so in the NFL, like you're paid well. Like our salaries are public pretty much. You're paid well, but then people want to they just give you free stuff. There's all this promotional stuff that you get for free, and it makes
if you called a restaurant right now and was like, I play for the Dolphins, they'd send you dinner.
No, I don't. There are some companies my teammates reach out to. They'll get free stuff, and then they look at my profile. They're like, you don't have enough followers. We're not going to give you anything.
You don't have enough clout. Tua gets free takeout in Miami, but not Laird.
I'm just laughing that Davis's version of reaping the benefits of being a professional athlete is on Applebee's, and they're gonna hit him up with some baby back ribs.
That I think that could be for a couple guys. I don't think anyone. Not everyone can just show up to a restaurant and get free stuff. But I was gonna say the meditation thing, I've been consistent for like days on end, and then like then I'll miss a couple days, and I did for whatever reason I just haven't been able to get into it, and I've tried multiple times.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. The bet. That's how it works.
Yeah, but then you're almost like losing I don't say the value of it, but the core of meditation is like you choosing to do it because you want to do it.
There is, I've wrestled with it too when we included that part in the bet and just kind of the irony of making a bet about meditating. But for me, what I like, my own personal mantra with it is the whole point is throughout the day, I'm distracted by so many things. I have the notifications, I have all this stuff, multiple chats, all this stuff. That's my one time to be present and to not be distracted by anything else. And so that's what I tell myself is like, these 10 minutes, I might struggle, I might distract, I might start planning out my day, but I'm going to at least try for 10 minutes to be fully present in that moment. And somehow like the bet doesn't feel, I
don't even think about the bet anymore when I meditate. Like it doesn't even register to me. It's just like, I know I need to meditate for 10 minutes. And at first I would be consciously thinking about it, but we're like 90 days in now. Like it just doesn't.
Are you guys doing mindfulness meditation?
I do that. I do the Headspace. I'm doing like the courses. Like they have like courses on focus or courses on mindfulness or whatever. Yeah. So it's like there's some like verbal instruction.
But I guess what I'm saying is you're not doing like what do they call it? They call it like mantra meditating.
Yeah.
Mantra over and over again.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I don't really like the visualization ones either. I prefer I think it don't work for me.
I met this like sports psychology. There's like this big thing with like envisioning like plays and stuff, just doing it over and over again. And they preach that a lot. And like I think every football player kind of does it to some extent, like just naturally, you just are kind of like thinking throughout the week like how you're gonna do something.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, like sitting down for 30 minutes and just thinking about that over and over again, that'd be tough for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the course I'm doing right now is on, finding focus. And they for the like last 10 of them, they're like, think about something specific, emotion, an action, a thought, like something specific you want to accomplish. And my focus mechanism is thinking about my golf swing.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Which I haven't, it's 3 degrees outside. I haven't swung a club in 2 months, but I'm hoping that something about that translates.
I bet it will. I think there's something to that. I definitely think there is something to like visualizing doing physical activity before you do it. And then like it's like your mind believes that it already did it in like a smooth way. And then when you actually go try to do it, you do it in a smooth way.
It's so funny you say that because I've been reading this book Flow right now. I don't know. Have you heard about it, Patrick, about like flow state and optimal flow experiences?
Yeah. What's the author's name?
I should know. I don't know. It's on my Kindle.
I've heard some dude on a podcast.
It's a name it looks like I might not be able to pronounce. Anyways,
your best shot.
Kindle edition by
Ali. No, that's not the person I'm thinking of. You don't have to.
Anyways, there's a story in there about, I believe it was some like prisoner of war from the Vietnam War, and while he was in captivity, he spent the whole time envisioning playing this golf round. And the first thing he did when he got free and came home is he wanted to go play on this course. And I guess he had like one of the best rounds of his life ever, having not practiced at all. But that was his technique of kind of a meditative technique of getting through that, is just playing every single shot on this course. And he played incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really think there is something to that. Back when so like in skateboarding, there are these skate videos that come out and you like watch pro skateboarders do their thing. And like, I don't know, it's just like a very normal, like colloquial thing to do, to like watch them before you go skateboarding. And I would always feel like one, like a really good one, or like a guy who was like really creative or unique, the way he did things. I always felt like I had like a better time skateboarding after watching a video that I like really engage with. And I think it is part of that mental, I don't know, acuity, I guess, maybe, or maybe it's like a mental warm up even.
Yeah. I think it was that was like a big thing. Like high school was guys would watch like their favorite player, like their highlight video on YouTube before games. I used to watch. Like, everyone used to watch. Like if you ask like any running back from like, or like I guess in my era, like my age, everyone used to watch Tavon Austin highlights when we were younger.
Really?
Yeah. Have you seen his high school highlight video?
Yeah.
He's unreal.
It's incredible. I don't think he gets tackled the whole time. Like the only time he goes to the ground is when he's falling into the end zone. Like any other time, he's just scoring a touchdown or like running out of bounds.
That's wild.
I mean, Laird, don't be shy about highlight mixtape or about high school mixtapes, dude. We know you scored like 45 touchdowns your final year in high school.
One of my biggest failures in life is not having you win that whatever California San Luis Obispo Player of the Year, Player of the Decade. I'm so pissed.
It wasn't fair because it was just like all fan voting. You know, like the Pro Bowl, there's like fan voting plus.
Yeah,
like,
but Pete should have had the clout. We should have had the clout. Like, I don't know how this other guy out-clouted you.
Probably like his family had a very strong Facebook following, you know, so you post enough on Facebook, people are just going to start, they'll go out and vote for you. Twitter, it's like, it's kind of hit or miss, you know?
That's actually true. That I've read a lot that like click-throughs on Twitter are like the lowest of any social media medium.
And they actually suppress it because they want you to stay on the site. There's been when I was talking to Smiz the other day, who said that they suppress YouTube links out because then you're leaving and going to what they view as a competing platform. Wow,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
but you can tell like when you read comments on Twitter under like an article.
Yeah,
there's like certain comments you see from people. You're like, oh, I know you just didn't read the article because what you said is refuted if you read the article.
That's Twitter in a nutshell. Like you can legitimately have a title and then say the complete opposite thing in the article, and people will only respond to the title.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, people are very very lazy. I mean, I've seen it to the point too where like people haven't even read. Like, I think I had something with a screenshot the other day and it was the thing in there. And then it was like, well, what's the thing? I was like, just look at the screenshot.
Just literally open the screenshot through the wider image.
Yes. Then you can see what I'm referencing. Yeah. Our brains are so broken, how we want to be spoon-fed this stuff online.
So I think I definitely should take up meditating again, because what I've noticed recently is like my memory. I feel like my memory's gotten worse since, I don't want to be like one of those people like since the pandemic started, but like
it's true though.
I feel like it's partly true. I'll be like confusing. I've always done this, confusing like dreams and like things that actually happen, or like things I thought happened but like were actually a dream. But now it's like my girlfriend and I were having a conversation and she'll be like, do you remember those people that like stopped by and like said hello? And I'm like, and like she was explaining who they are, and I'm like, I can't remember them for some reason. And I don't know if that's like someone in the comments is gonna be like, it's because of football, but like I think it's just the amount of.
He's already ready for the CTE comebacks. He's just
You were so pro, content creator ready when you. That's my move, anticipating the comment before it even comes, just getting out ahead of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's that, because like I wasn't really hit that hard this whole season, so like I didn't really get banged into. I think part of it's my fault for just scrolling through like Reddit and Twitter and just reading a bunch of different articles, because like you read an article and you're like, wow, this is great information, I'm learning a lot,
and then you don't retain a second of it.
Yeah, then you just go to the next one and you read another article, and it's like, because like on Reddit I think I follow like good subreddits, I'm learning a lot, but then I'm doing it so much that I'm not processing any of it, and then I'm like things are happening in my real life that like I'm not processing as well, and then I'm getting, I don't know, I could be overthinking it, but I was wondering if you guys are like, have you experienced anything like that where you like literally don't remember meeting someone that someone saw you meet or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, definitely long-term memory stuff starts to get really fuzzy, and I do think the actual product of the COVID stuff is time has felt really warped. As far as like, we're now coming up on a year here. I think it'll be March 11th was the big Rudy Gobert night in the NBA that kind of set the domino effect and shut everything down. Like, to me, that's blowing my mind that we're coming up on that date and that I've essentially lived inside, in a different capacity than I ever have for that period. And when I think about times over that duration, it like some stuff seems like it was just yesterday. Some stuff feels like it was 5 years ago. So I do think something about COVID and being more insulated has kind of distorted time.
Yeah.
What are your...
I think that's just because humans are such social creatures that it would stand to reason that we measure passages of time by our interactions with other people. But if you're only interacting with your girlfriend or your wife or whoever, it would stand to reason that those things would be more limited, which is my experience. Like 90% of days, my girlfriend's the only person I see.
Yeah.
What are your favorite subreddits to like when you start scrolling on the internet? What are the kind of topics you're seeking out?
I'm like on a bunch of different ones. For whatever reason, I like the financial ones, like the economics, the financial. There's like financial independence ones. You know, like you just kind of learn about like different financial truths and stuff like that.
My man's into financial independence. Can we get you to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin on this show?
How would that even work? Do I have to like create an account?
Yeah, you create an account on Coinbase. You link your account info. You buy $100 and you forget about it until 2027.
I mean, I guess I can do that.
No, you need to do it on your own time. You need to feel safe.
Coinbase.
Here, I'll give you the referral so we can each get $10 of free Bitcoin.
This is his long game here to try to shill you referral. You are so disgusting, Davis. Ripping open baseball cards, doing like, oh, this will be a fun content bit for the show, and also I'll get a $10 kickback.
I'll forego the referral just because I want Laird to be a hodler.
Well, yeah. I'm down for the referral because we both get $10.
Nope, you just got a Top Shots reward message instead.
Oh my God. Davis, while trying to share the link to Patrick, accidentally had posted a message from Jacob from Top Shot about
from the Dapper community at Top Shots. But yeah, Pat, before we got on air, Pete and I, we thought that we would be spending the show trying to buy more Top Shots packs, but the service got delayed.
What Davis? Yeah, actually, it's there's this condo in Puerto Rico, Pat. Now, hear me out. You're there a month out of the year. I'm there a month, and I now have a 4-hour presentation to tell you about that.
No, okay. This is a funny thing. I think I maybe grew up in the wrong era to understand timeshares. I don't think anyone in my life ever tried to shill me a timeshare.
I have an awful memory as a child. With a timeshare where my parents, we went on a trip where basically it was in Colorado. It was like but to somewhere nice, like a resort kind of thing. But the catch was they're like, you can come stay here for 2 free nights, but you have to listen to this timeshare pitch. And they had like this whole setup where like my brother and I were probably like 6-7 years old. They're like, here's some toys, go watch a movie or whatever. Right. And my parents are so nice. Like my parents won't just shut someone down or like what. They were there for 5 hours getting this pitch. And part of it was like, well, we feel guilty because they gave us the free place to stay. I'm like, yes, that's their entire, business plan.
So to really get the better of someone in a timeshare, you just have to be willing to be like, I'm leaving and I don't care about the social niceties of sitting through your presentation.
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be perfect for me because I wouldn't feel that thing, like that badness.
That like timeshares are, I feel like, are such a relic of the 90s, or at least those kind of sales pitches for timeshares have big 90s energy.
I never think about this, but Laird is like way younger than us. I'm 28.
I'm
Pete's
33.
really old. Yeah, Pete's
really old. Get out of here.
Well, I'm 25, so I'm not that much younger than 28.
But I would not have processed it. Like I think in my head canon, you're older than me.
I do too.
Really?
I legitimately, I feel like you're definitely more mature than me, but I also feel like you're older than me.
Yeah, like I feel like you're just like far more distinguished. Like I just feel like you like have the more like moral certitude of like a 37-year-old.
I don't know about that. You guys only know me in the well, actually, no, we met in person, so you guys really know who I am, I guess. So
I know, it's a tough day too. A freezing day, a freezing loss to the New York Giants.
So there's been some. I wanted to address some comments I've seen on Twitter. People believe that I am just taking advantage of your guys' relationship because you guys have like 5 times as many Twitter followers as me, and I'm only friends with you guys so that I can get more followers on Twitter.
Wait,
but I want you to know that
what a bit that would be.
Like Davis and Peter, and I like hanging out and talking to them. I'm not doing this fake friendship to get more followers on Twitter.
Wait, I have missed these. Have people actually said that to you? I never have been tagged in these.
People are thinking it out there. I think people.
Wait, so did you lie? Are there actually these things, or you're getting out ahead of it?
No, he's
saying. I want people to know that I'm not using you guys for the followers.
He's saying there's guys in the Dolphins locker room who are like, we saw you doing that podcast with Andy Pax. We saw you just glomming off of his 18,000 Twitter followers.
Oh my God. The thought of you the amount of places you could go to boost your exposure more than on this show.
This guy knows Michael Lewis. Like he can.
Yo, Michael Lewis isn't on Twitter.
Wait till you guys hear Glenn, the author of Radical Markets, talk about some of his connections that he has, like insane connections.
Imagine that this adventure ends with us doing a podcast with Laird and Vitalik, that we introduce these two men who might as well be aliens to one another from these two different parts of life. I think that's the end goal. I think that's now my new goal.
Would I have to buy Ethereum before we meet with this guy?
No, he'd be down. He'd be down to chat because he like because I don't know. Ethereum is a whole different thing. I couldn't even. I would not be the right person to explain the world of Ethereum.
Yeah, I would. This comment makes in what Patrick said. I would like to say, any other NFL players that are trying to ride my coattails, you want to hop on the show? You want that little that Peter Overs at Clout Boost? Hop on. We'll take you to the moon.
Yeah, hey, Doug Polk came on the Takecast last week, so we're really trending up in terms of famous people to be on the show.
How do I pin one of these comments? Or
which comment do you want up here?
Laird plays in the NFL just to pump his reputation with some third-rate DFS touts.
Yeah, I put that up. I mean, I take offense to that. I mean, we're second-rate at best. I mean, come on. Third-rate?
Third-rate, come on. Like, let's be real.
All right, third-rate.
Let's just call spades spades.
All right, you're right.
Who's that guy? Who's like a first-rate tout?
Levitan.
Yeah, Levitan's probably the number one tout, right?
Yeah. The gold standard, the golden boy of cash games. Yeah. We got to get you more in these fantasy streets, Patrick.
Okay, so you guys want to announce your idea with Glenn? I honestly think it's such a good idea that you guys
it's like truly the best idea that's ever been said by anyone on a podcast, Pete.
Well, maybe
it's gonna get stolen by someone that listens to that and like they execute it before you guys are able to do it, and then they monetize it, and then they, No,
but here's the thing: if someone does that, that means that we get to play it. Yeah, so if someone steals it from us and does all the code work and gets it figured out, that sounds pretty great to me.
And I will say, we'll just use this as a tease to listen to the Radical Markets book club podcast that's going to come out here after this. And yeah, we came up with one of these ideas that he has in the book, how it could potentially apply to a fantasy football league. So you guys can keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be posting that once we're done here, and Davis is going to get the audio up on the Takecast. Yeah. Anything else on your mind now? Does the off season feel, daunting, like this long stretch before you're back at camp? Or are you looking forward to kind of having some downtime? I
like the off season. I like training in general, so it's fun for me to like plan out, how I'm training, what I'm going to do. This off season, I told you my goals, and then like another thing I'm just trying to do is just invest more in that, right? Like invest more into my training, invest more into nutrition, equipment, all that sort of thing. Kind of like don't want to say spare no expense, but spend more money on those sorts of things so that when I show back up in maybe April, maybe May, but obviously, July and August, I'm going to be like ready to go. So I like that part of it. And then my other goal is I want to shoot like high 80s.
Yeah, I knew the golf thing was coming.
Mid 80s in golf. So I'm going to take a couple lessons. But yeah, I really love it. The off season is fun.
I'm chomping at the bit to get I want to do one of the lessons. Like I did a few of the lessons where I went and he just worked on my swing, but now I need to do one where I play 9 holes with a pro.
With a pro.
Yeah, and they can kind of analyze a bunch of different specific situations. That's I think the next step I need.
Is that a thing that I've never gotten lessons. My dad is like a 4 handicap, so like I'll send him my swinging stuff sometimes, but I've never. Like what would be the most effective way to spend like $500 or $1,000 on my game? Like I don't even know.
Are you asking me?
Either of you, I don't know.
I think the most value I've gotten has been from those lessons. Even like a 30-minute lesson that cost you $75 or $100. I mean, the guy I worked with sent me a bunch of notes and kind of some photos of my swing and kind of annotated them and stuff to focus on. And now I have like these steps that I go through when I'm practicing my swing. And so just paying $75 or $100 for that and then getting value every time you go to the range or play around to work on it, I think it's a great investment.
Yeah, one thing I was going to do, I was going to buy like a pack of lessons.
Yeah.
Which I guess one way you can do it is just like try out one lesson with a guy and then decide if you want to re-up and go again. But I think I might just commit to like 5 lessons and just schedule them like every Wednesday for 5 weeks.
Yep. And
just see how good my game gets after that.
My problem,
you got to have the tools to be really good because you are a literal pro athlete. Like you got to have the flexibility and the strength that if you had a really strong mental game and a really strong understanding of the mechanics, like you should be able, like putting is whatever, that's more of a mental thing. But in terms of like being able to smash the ball, hitting it out of the rough in a way that a normal dude just never could.
You would imagine that, but for whatever reason, it's not the case. It's kind of sad actually when I go golfing because sometimes I'll go just as a single and then you just get put in a group. And I went like a month ago and I went with there's like these old guys I got put with, and
they always hit it so straight.
They hit it straight. They have great ball contact, and then they outdrive me just because like my driving is so inconsistent that I just swing like just super soft, just because I want to be able to find the ball. Because if I try to smack it, it could just go, out of bounds almost 70% of the time. So I just kind of hit it nice and easy and just hit it straight. And then I'm playing with these older guys, and by like hole 4. Eventually, like one of them will ask, "Oh, so what do you do? Where are you from?" And then like I got to explain, like
you got to be like, "I'm a professional athlete,"
and they're like, so they're intrigued. They're like, "Cool," like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then like the next time we drive, they hit it like 50 yards farther than me, and then they think I'm like just this weak athlete. And then they'll be like, "So do you actually even play?" And then I'm like,
I know you don't want to name drop, but when you say older guys, you can just say you've been going out with Fitz.
No, I'm not even talking about. I wish I played golf with Fitz. No, I'm talking about like old random dudes.
Fitz doesn't have time to golf, man. He's got too many kids.
Kids, yeah, but he lives close to a golf course in Arizona, so I know he goes pretty often in the off season.
Let me. There were a few questions I had put in the Discord when I let people know you were coming on. Someone did ask a question about Fitz. Fitz is known in fantasy as being a YOLO guy with some of these balls he throws up, the you only live once balls. Someone said, is Fitz magic even more YOLO in practice than we see in games? Or does the YOLO just come out under the bright lights?
So he doesn't hold much back during the games, which is in itself like, that's a pretty amazing thing. You know what I mean? For a guy just to go out and just have confidence, like in his receivers, like I'm just going to throw this ball here. And a lot of time he fits it in these tight windows. Does he do it in practice like that? I mean, yeah, pretty. He's an older guy though, so like some of the bombs he'll throw in the game, like he knows he can throw it. So I don't think he's gonna like waste one of those long throws that he has.
He knows he's got the counter. He's like, I got about 125 deep balls left in this shoulder. I'm not wasting one throwing it to Mac Hollins dressed like Bob Ross at practice.
Yeah, he's limited in the amount of throw. But yeah, like it's just the way he has like a certain philosophy. So like quarterbacks have like different ideas on like how the game should be played, and like he has just like an aggressive philosophy. And I don't think he really turns it off in practice. he has so much control of the game, so like he can just do things that not many other quarterbacks can do mentally as well.
Yeah. It seemed like he was pretty bummed out, but also handled it very well when Tua got the nod. Yeah,
I think so. Because I mean, he's super competitive, and like we voted him captain at the beginning of the season, and like, yeah, he's obviously like as a competitor, he wants to continue to play. And he told me like I kind of asking him how long he wanted to play for, and I think in his mind he's like, I'm not playing football just to be like a backup.
Yeah.
Like a perennial backup, like we mentioned before. Like he's playing because he believes he's good enough to be a starter and wants to. He's like, I don't spend all this time away from my kids because I think that like to like just watch and like be around at practice. Like I'm trying to play and help a team win. And so I think as long as any team will give him a shot to do that, I think he'll play. I'm not. Sorry, that's not me relaying that he's going to continue playing.
No, I know.
That's his mindset. He's always wanting to play and be a competitor and be the starter, and he's very gracious when when the team decides that they're going to start someone else.
Yeah, I know. I think I can't even imagine too. I assume it's almost like a form of a drug of playing quarterback in the NFL, and he clearly gets so much joy out of that too. Like I assume it's like putting the genie back in the bottle. Once you know what a thrill that is, and then to be like, well, now I'm not getting to do this on a weekly basis. I assume it's super hard to stomach.
Yeah, that's very true, actually, especially for a quarterback position, because you're either playing or you're not. Like for me, I've had games where I played like 30, 40 snaps at running back, and then I've had games where I played 0 and then play some special teams or have 2 snaps.
Yeah, but to go to 0 just feels like it would be so brutal.
Yeah, well, and then like quarterback, you don't get to play special teams, so you're not really like you're part of the game plan if an emergency happens, And so there's just a different like mindset with that, that's really tough. And one of my best friends in college had that. Like he was, battling for a starting spot for like 3 years, but never was able to win it out. But he had like a great head on his shoulders and was always like in preparation for to help the team win. But like there's just something different about being the guy going in on Monday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And preparing for the game on Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
it's all. Yeah. What
has the highest character, one of the highest character guys I know, just because he's been able to handle that throughout his whole career.
Atomic Fitzhabits. Did you enjoy watching the NFL playoffs this year? Were you watching a lot of those games, or were you just kind of over it?
No, I watched every single game. I think it's the first time in my life I've watched every single playoff game in the NFL. I was just bummed that we didn't make it, but then it was just like, it was fun being a spectator and just like watching the game. And then they're like a lot of the teams that we play this year were in the playoffs. So it's kind of fun to see like, are they showing the same looks on special teams, Or are they bringing
film grinder Laird? Laird has his hand in the dirt for sure.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I could recognize the blitzes with the Chiefs, like when they're bringing their linebackers and when they're bringing Matthews. So
Did you notice just the giant hole in their offensive line for the entire game?
That was tough. Yeah, that was. They're missing Mitchell Schwartz, their right tackle, who's the Cal guy. So I think that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was one of the most overwhelmed I've ever seen a football team look.
Oh, speaking of Cal guys, we got to talk about your guy Chad Hansen. He became a bit of a DFS cult hero this season.
Did people play him in the?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was crushing it, man.
So his first game that he was active this year, I think he had over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah,
he had 100 yards in his first 2 games.
Wow. Yeah, he's Yeah, I was literally talking to him today. So shout out to Chad Hansen.
Yeah. What was he? What's he up to these days? Is he back? Did he come back to California?
Yeah, so he was actually just in Hawaii for a couple of weeks, and then now he's back in California starting to train.
Chad, open invite to come on the show.
Davis will he'll send you a link to get signed up on Coinbase. Don't worry, each will get $10. Davis is going to become a Bitcoin millionaire by shilling his Coinbase account to everyone he has on his podcast.
To different NFL players, like every time.
Yeah. So were you talking with Chad when he was getting all that playing time? How was he handling that all?
Yeah, I mean, we were all going crazy just because we're all like in a group chat still from college. And so like, there's like, I'll get out of my games and like check the group chat and people will be like,
nothing pervades like a college group chat. They never die.
They never die. And yeah, people were just like, oh my God, Chad, like, you know, just all this stuff. And they're like sending videos of highlights and stuff. So we were pretty stoked for him. But Houston, that's an interesting situation going on there.
Yeah.
Have you guys been following that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're pretty checked out from what's going on. You know, we're so busy with Top Shots. It's like, who can even keep track of all these quarterback situations?
You joke, but there's a little truth to that, Davis.
No, I'm in it, bro. I'm in the weeds. You're the one who is out of the weeds. You're the one.
No. I got my NFL alerts. Yeah, I mean, not
that long like Sports Illustrated article on it.
I didn't read that. Did you?
Yeah, no, I read it and I like sent it to multiple people just because I think it was Sports Illustrated. Yeah, long Sports Illustrated. Just type in
about like the Texans ownership and everything.
Yeah, about it came out December 10th.
I might have read this actually.
It's about the one of the guys in the executive office that kind of like came to the team from the Patriots.
Oh yeah, Jack Easterby's rise to power and mismanagement of Houston.
Yeah, so that article, it's kind of a longer one, but it's definitely super interesting. And I don't know, like I'm not gonna like disparage another organization.
No.
But I would never ask you to say anything controversial on this podcast.
No, you guys, yeah. It's sometimes it's hard, like you'll just be having a normal conversation and you're like not sure what you're allowed to say or like.
I mean, hey, look, if we really want to press you to the gills, like your team is one of the rumored destinations for Deshaun Watson.
There's so many rumors about just our team in general. I feel like in this past like year.
Well, you guys have all the picks. You just have all these picks and all this salary cap. You can kind of do whatever you want.
What do you guys think? What would you do if you were the general manager?
I mean, I think the trajectory of what you guys started doing last year made so much sense. Focus on the offensive line, focus on defense. I think you definitely need another maybe wide receiver playmaker out there that you could invest in. But yeah, I'm not writing off Tua in the way that a lot of people want to. I want to continue to see what he has.
I'm not writing off Tua, but I would trade Tua and the 2 first-round picks this year for Deshaun Watson. Tua, please tell me you didn't make it an hour and 48 minutes into this. I know you listen. I know you listen, but I know you didn't listen this far in. But I would trade those assets for Deshaun Watson, who is one of the most amazing athletes I have ever seen in my life.
Well,
he's so good.
The Stafford trade kind of almost like ruined that market too.
Yeah, it did.
Did you have thoughts on that trade, the Stafford Goff one?
Yeah, I mean. That one, like, I feel like that one came out of nowhere, or maybe I wasn't following close enough. But that one kind of surprised me. I don't know. Quarterback's, I mean, because I'm friends with Jared, and like quarterback's such a tough position. And
the Cal connection, we forgot.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like obviously I'm not a GM and I don't know all the dynamics on both teams, but I feel like the Lions got a lot. Like they got a good setup for that trade. I think Jared's a good quarterback, and then they got a lot of picks to help surround him with good players. So
is Jared? I mean, I watched Jared on Hard Knocks. Seemed like he had this nice setup there. He had his little pitching green, going down there, and now moving to Michigan. I wonder if that might be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. he's a California kid too. I mean, but he grew up in the Bay Area.
Hates the cold weather, that guy.
He'll be. I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine. The Lions have an indoor stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's good. He's just like, yeah, obviously had a really cool setup in Southern California and had a lot of connections here, but I think he's like I think he's probably more mentally tough than people give him credit for. So
Yeah.
I think he's gonna go into this like he has something to prove, you know, and I think I'm hoping he'll prove people that doubted him. He'll prove them.
Go Bears.
Go Bears.
There's he's got some fun weapons there too. I mean, Kenny Golladay was injured a lot this season, but he's a grown ass man. DeAndre Swift looks very exciting.
He probably won't be on the Lions next year.
You don't think?
He might be. Kenny Golladay might be teammates with Pat. They do. They need
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones is he just
he's older than Pete.
Is he? He
no, not
is.
quite. He's not.
You know where he went to college?
Is he a Cal guy?
He's a Cal
Oh
guy.
my goodness! Everyone's a Cal guy.
Yeah, we pretty much run the NFL.
Yeah, I'm just okay,
Yeah,
he's
really.
30.
When I think about pipeline schools to the NFL, it's like Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Cal is kind of how it goes.
Who won the MVP this year?
I literally don't even know. Was it
Announced
Rodgers?
it yet?
Yeah, they already announced it.
It was Rodgers. And I remember being.
You guys know where Aaron Rodgers went to school?
You're right. It was Aaron Rodgers. How did I miss this announcement?
Were you like 4 when Rodgers was in college?
No, when was
he's like
I was 9, I think, 2004.
Yeah, he's a lot older than you.
Yeah, he's a lot older.
That's funny.
He's supposed to be like really, really smart. He would. I don't know if you guys saw his like conversations with Pat McAfee, but like, I mean, they mostly talk football, but like he likes to talk about stuff outside of football. I feel like he would be a way more interesting person to have on this show than me.
The thing is he's a little worried that it would come across like he was just trying to chase my clout.
Yeah,
coming on here.
Yeah,
he's pretty prickly. I feel like he would not respond to our overtures well.
You don't think so?
Well, I've also said some mean things about him online that probably he would find.
Really?
Not well. It's hard to say what's mean or not, but I thought he played pretty poorly relative to his standard the last 3 years until this year.
Okay.
Let's just say that Aaron will be using my Coinbase code when he comes on the show.
I just I bought 0.002 of Bitcoin.
Wow.
Patrick Laird is a hodler. Oh my gosh.
He's no longer a no coiner.
Wait, so I don't have. So if I just have my Coinbase, that'll hold my Bitcoin. I just have to remember my Coinbase password.
Correct.
There are some more intricate things, but we'll talk to you about that offline.
All right, I just bought $100 worth.
So now you need to start. Okay, you need to change your bio. Just put hashtag Bitcoin in it.
Bitcoin.
And then do a bunch of rocket emojis and say, "We going to the moon, fam."
Yeah, say it like
pack your bags. We going to the moon, fam.
So
a golden Lambo tweet.
I'm on Reddit, but I'm not a part of Wall Street Bets. I'm not a part of that subreddit. So
Yeah.
Wall Street Bets hasn't even found it. When Wall Street Bets finds out about Bitcoin, it's going to be all over.
By the end of the year, they're going to be calling you Diamond Hands, Patrick. I know it.
I mean, I feel like our journey has just really sort of taken a new level now that Pat's a hodler. Like, It's going to be so good. He'll check the price so much more often now, too. I know.
The best part is when we had Pat buy the top, too. It's like 48K. We're going to have a 10K pullback, and Pat's going to be so mad.
Pat did the show with us for the first time when Bitcoin was like 3 game checks, and now it's $48,000.
Well, at least Davis gets that $10 of Bitcoin in his account.
Do you own like at least one Bitcoin? Are you willing to share the? I don't know how much personal information you've already shared.
You really are not supposed to say things like this because people will.
Yeah, you trying to get me robbed?
Yeah, come to your house and rob you. But yeah, I do. I have more than that.
I've been dollar. Both Davis and I.
You have like 10 Bitcoin.
I'm not gonna, we'll text offline, Pat.
Okay.
This is only fair. It's like we asked you questions about Miami Dolphins locker room dynamics, and Laird's like, all right, tell me how many Bitcoin you have.
Tell me to the 13th decimal how many Bitcoins you have. I will just say that Pete and I have been buying some amount of Bitcoin every single day for 2 years. Pete, I think even longer than me. Or not every single week, rather.
Yeah, once a week, dollar cost average, auto buy, out of my hands. I don't need someone like Davis twisting my arm to go buy. Just let the computer do it.
Just don't look at the price, and I just let my account do it for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a Buffett philosophy, dude. You should be into that. That's right up your alley. Like, don't look at the price, just hold.
His thing is only buy what you understand. So
is that true? I don't know that much about Warren Buffett.
That's one thing he says. He only invests in stuff that he understands. Or that's what he preaches, at least.
Which to me, that I respect that, but then he has such a hard line position against it. It's like, shouldn't that work both ways? That you can't have a super negative stance against something you don't understand either.
That's true. Yeah. Well, I think, like, I don't know. I used to watch and like read a bunch about him, but it seemed like he didn't like this. He would go, yeah, like making money and investing in tech companies is fine. He's like, I just don't understand it that well. But it seems like if you follow like Berkshire Hathaway over the last few years, they've started to invest in like a lot of different stuff.
Yeah,
including technology companies.
I actually just read a book where he played a pretty key part in the resolution, and him being stubborn cost himself a bunch of money, actually, of being like,
really?
Yeah. When Genius failed, you'd probably really like it, Pat.
I definitely heard of that book.
You probably are even our guy Glenn Well probably knows some of the people involved with it. Long-term capital management when they failed back in the early 2000s.
I saw you tweet a book recently. Is that the book that you talked about when you?
Yeah, long-term capital management, like the biggest hedge fund failure ever.
Yeah, it is. To give Warren some slack. I mean, imagine kind of how your brain would be rewired if you had been massively successful doing one thing like year after year, decade after decade, and then like the paradigm starts to shift. Like it would be very hard at that age and being successful one way for so long to just be like, okay, you're right. I will completely change my strategy and what has worked for me. And I'm not saying like I do think he's wrong, but I sympathize with how hard it would be to be like, dude, hey, Peter, I know you have a few Bitcoins, but I literally have made billions of dollars doing what I'm doing. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And I'd be like, okay, Warren.
Yeah, there's that. And then, but to play the devil's advocate a little bit, like he's been hearing that for decades though.
Yeah.
Like, people in the 90s were like, you're missing out on so much of this, like the tech companies, and those are the future. And like
.com.
And then the .com bubble. And then he kind of like was able to say, hey, I told you so, I told you so. And then there's another run up all the way to 2009. And he just kind of stayed investing in his his companies, and then he'd buy them when they're cheap. And it's like every decade someone will be like, well, now you don't understand. Now you don't know. Now you don't know. And then maybe there's going to be another bubble that he comes out on top again, and he can look back and tell those people like, I told you so. But you're right, though. The things always do change.
Yeah. And the thing that's interesting too, and I feel like the GameStop thing kind of illuminated this, and probably a problem with the retail investors is that like the best thing probably for the market is people investing in companies and things that they believe in long term, and not playing it like a casino, riding a stock for a day, flipping it, blah, blah, blah. Right. And, that was what Warren Buffett did. And he would invest in these companies, have this long view, and, focus on the fundamentals. And ironically, that's kind of what we're doing with Bitcoin. Like, this is a long-term thing. I'm not actually really speculating on Bitcoin. I'm not day trading it. I'm not trying to flip it right up rising wedges. I believe in it long-term, and I'm making small investments. I'm using the Warren Buffett playbook, but just on an asset class that he doesn't understand.
Yeah, that's true. Someone said, what does Laird think of Cathie Wood and ARK Investments? So she's the one that runs ARK Investments, right? Have you guys heard of her?
Yeah, my friend, my buddy Rhett, is a huge fan. Like one of my best real life friends is a big fan of ARK.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at their ETFs recently, but I haven't bought anything. I don't know. I haven't.
What's your favorite ETF? Tell me your favorite ETF.
The S&P 500 index. Actually, I don't even know if it's. I think Schwab's is a mutual fund, but the fee is 0.02% management fee. So
I have that one, and then the Vanguard ETFs too. Yeah.
A good bit would be like guy who touts like Vanguard funds, but it's just like super hyped. Just put it up $11 in my Vanguard fam. We're going to the moon.
Reading the chart on Vanguard ETFs.
Alicia, Pete, you're my fave. But ever can I get a shout out? Shout out, Alicia. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. We probably should let Laird go here. I assume
my headphones literally just died. Okay. We've been on so long, my headphones just died.
What's on tap? Have you been making the girlfriend and the parents dinner? You know, how are you endearing yourself to them now that you're crashing at their pad?
So I'm glad my girlfriend's not watching this part because she's always on me about making food and stuff, and I'm just so bad at it that I just like I'll support in the effort, but I have to have her tell me what to do. You know what I mean?
Pat, dude, come on. This is such a solvable thing during a global pandemic.
I can't get into cooking for whatever reason. I can help out, but it's hard for me to take charge. We have been doing the air fryer. We're kind of on the air fryer kick. I think the air fryer in some ways lives up to the hype. That's something I can take charge of. But yeah, I'm like, if I'm gonna do something special, it's like I'll go order something out and then bring it in.
He uses the credit card on the local on like Thai food takeout. That's the move.
Yeah. Here's Clay. Did you pull out the red carpet for Valentine's Day, Patrick?
So I did something that I thought I would never do. I bought an expensive bottle of wine because when I was like
very off-brand.
When I was 7th grade, 13, I read Freakonomics, which we talked about briefly on the first part of the podcast. And they did a study they showed a study in the Freakonomics chapter showing that expensive wine was not better than cheap wine. And I told myself when I was 13, like 7 years before I had a glass of wine, I was like, you know what? When I'm older, I'm never going to buy an expensive bottle of wine. But for some reason, it was like the day before Valentine's Day, I was like, you know what? This is it's showing, something special. I'm going to get a nice Cabernet, and it was way too expensive, but we tried it. It was good, but I can confirm that you can get just as good a bottle of wine at Trader Joe's for like $5.
Did you tell her how expensive it was to get the cred just on, hey, this is, a couple game checks here. Just want you to know.
This is 0.002 Bitcoin. I just said it was a nice bottle. I think that's what I said.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, this is a nice bottle, apparently, according to the price tag at the store.
Well, I know you only came on this show to kind of boost your own clout. So is there anything you'd like to plug? I want to make sure you're getting value out of this.
Yeah, you guys should definitely follow me on Instagram, Twitter.
Use my Coinbase referral code.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laird, now you have a Coinbase referral code. You can start chilling that.
Do you guys use Personal Capital? You guys heard of that?
I haven't.
No.
Okay, I'm going to send you guys my referral code.
Here we go.
I use Wealthfront though, which I assume is the same thing.
Does it like aggregate all your accounts?
Oh no, that sounds super interesting to me though. Somewhere to pull all my disparate money spread across 19 different investing sites on the internet sounds literally perfect.
Exactly, that's exactly what it does, and it aggregates it all, and you can calculate and track your like.
Laird, I will scratch your back after you scratch mine with the referral for sure.
Did you get your $10?
Let's go see.
This is actually a piece of phishing tracking software, and Laird just trying to figure out how many Bitcoins we have when he sends us this link.
This is how I steal your Bitcoin.
Looks like not yet, but it sometimes takes a little while for it to pay out, so I'm not sweating it.
Okay. Well, now it's already worth $97, so I just lost.
Oh, taking L's. Laird doing nothing but taking L's.
Welcome to the Bitcoin experience, man. One moment you have $100 in Bitcoin, the next you have 96.
And when I was filling out my account, they're like, "Why are you signing up for Coinbase?" And I was like, "Because I want to," or like, "Why do you want Bitcoin?" I was like, "To purchase things online." I'm gonna be the only person that filled that.
They didn't have the option that is because I'm
Laird
being bullied on a live
literally-
stream right now.
Laird literally buys coffee. He fulfills the meme. He literally buys a cup of coffee with his Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove that you can purchase things with Bitcoin, and then it's gonna become even more valuable because people are like, "Well, you actually can buy stuff."
Well,
There you go.
something that is coming out now that a couple different companies are working on is Bitcoin credit cards, where you use your credit card and you swipe, and your account balance is your crypto, but obviously when you swipe it, it's paying in US dollars. So it allows you to spend your Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever frictionlessly at other places.
Interesting. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let Patrick hit the road. Pat, as usual, this was a ton of fun, man. Thank you for giving us so much of your time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me and giving me that clout that I desperately need.
Yeah, man. We are here for
Look,
you.
You're very welcome.
Well, yeah, as usual, we'll have to circle back together. Maybe just maybe coronavirus will go away and we can go play a round of golf sometime.
Yeah. Oh, just imagine it.
Can't wait.
Yeah. All right, guys, do follow Patrick Laird on Twitter. He is what I would say criminally underfollowed. I mean, how do these third-rate DFS guys get more Twitter followers than an NFL athlete? It's unjust, Patrick.
I don't know.
Follow him on Instagram, hit up his MySpace, all that good stuff.
Add me on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn.
Hit him up on LinkedIn.
Assistant to the quarterback.
Yeah, endorse him on LinkedIn. I will be back tomorrow. We're going to got a lot of requests to talk more about DeFi, decentralized finance and stuff. So we're bringing back Andy from Club Top Shot to talk about that. So we will be doing that tomorrow night. Davis,
are you farming yet, bro?
I might be getting my yield on. Davis, any other plugs here for your peeps?
The Takecast next week is having Scott from Starstock on it. So just really getting in that boomer physical card market. People will be looking forward to that.
There we go. All right, guys. Appreciate you hanging out with us this afternoon. The Book Club podcast will go up shortly on both the audio version on the Takecast, the video version on my feed. Check that out. Read Radical Markets. We'll maybe reconvene down the road on that. Appreciate you, Pat. We will see you guys next time.